about these ideas, but they needed these business ideas, but they needed capital. So to a point whereby I reached a thinking that how can I start a business that is going to not require me to have a capital? How do I start a business without capital? That's where I had to look at my skills. What skills do I have which I can use and then people can pay me for that? Did you know that there are actually some businesses that you can start without capital? Yes, guys, I said it. There are some businesses that you can start with 0 cents. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for tuning in. This is you, one and the only, the optimist. Well guys, I said it that there are actually some businesses that you can start without money. And can I tell you that I actually started 2 successful businesses without capital. And this actually made me to realize, guys, that capital isn't just money. It's your skill, it's your network, and it's your mindset. Okay guys, without wasting any of your time, I know that you are just wondering, like, really, how did you start a business without capital? Tell us about it so that we can actually also start our own businesses, because sometimes many people want to start a business, but the problem is often the capital. You know, you could have the idea, a very lucrative, a very good, a very potential idea, but the problem will be the capital to help you execute that idea. So that's where many people's ideas are stuck at the moment. That's where many people's ideas die. People are having ideas, but they are lacking people to actually fund those ideas, or they are just lacking the ways in which they can actually execute those businesses or fund those businesses to make them to come to life. Well guys, first things first, so how did this business thing came about? What happens is that, guys, I've been someone who's always had an entrepreneurial spirit. I've always loved business, guys. I've always loved engaging with people. I've always loved solving people's problems. I've always loved you know, providing services or any product to an individual in exchange for money. That's just about it, guys, because, you know, we know that money, guys, is needed on quite a lot of things. And for you to get money, you need to have to possess or to offer a value to people in exchange for money. So you must teach yourself that. It must get into you. You mustn't be this person who just wants things that just come easy like that in life. So this spirit actually started when I was still like young, when I was still at high school. I remember that I used to sell knickknacks. I used to sell knickknacks, guys. I used to sell Ziti stock sweets logo that are called the Yogeta. I used to sell those. And I also have a sister, guys, who has like that kind of mindset, who likes selling quite a lot. But yes, I was a very busy young girl who used to be very active within the activities that were taking place in the community and all of that. And I had very great cousins or that used to help me to go and stock my things, come back to me and give those knickknacks to me. And then the following day, I'll be selling during the break at school. And then, you know, fast forward, I finished school, I went to university. And at varsity, I had a bursary. So I did my diploma, I had a bursary. I did advanced diploma, I had a bursary. I did honors and I had a bursary. So well, guys, now I have my honors, which is a postgraduate diploma. I have my postgraduate diploma, guys, and then I want to continue because what I wanted to be a lecturer. That was my goal. I remember that I once asked from my HOD that if I want to be a lecturer, what should I do? Because that's my passion. That's something I would love to do. You get me? And then he actually told me that you need to have a master's, Hey, guys, I remember when I see him, I'd always be like, hey, please tell me where there are positions within the department. And he said to me, I was doing my advance, he said to me, you know what, I cannot talk anything with you if you have an advanced diploma. I cannot take anything. Even if there was an opportunity that would come up, unfortunately you do not qualify. Hey, that actually, guys, gave me that edge, that push. So I actually started, guys, to a point where my family was not understanding anymore. I remember that the huge excitement for me when I graduated was mainly when I did my diploma. And then straight after that, my family expected me to go and work. So they just didn't understand this thing of just continuing to studying. So like, you're studying forever. Even people within their community are like, but what kind of a qualification is it that it doesn't get finished? They just didn't know that my goal is that I need a master's for me to be a lecturer. So now I have been having bursaries until my honors. I want to continue. How do I continue? I don't have a bursary. I applied, but unfortunately I didn't really, get any even responses and all of that. So I had a few savings that I actually had on my account, and I was like, I'm so determined that I'm going to I'm going to do my master's, guys. No ways. I'm not going to do it on any other year. I want to do it this year. And I had already applied the previous year, guys, and I was actually taken. I even submitted my research or dissertation topic for my master. So fast forward, guys, I came back to Durban. And yes, Sana. So I'm this girl who's coming from Eastern Cape and who's staying in Durban, KZN, another province. So meaning to say, I need money to pay accommodation. I need money to pay or buy food. I need money for transport. Are you with me? And then I need money now for my studies. So it's too much, guys. It's too much. And I don't have funding at all. I did check bursaries, but I didn't really see or get any that could fund me, for my masters. Guys, but I've always been this person who's such a go-getter and who just believes that God can do miracles, all of those things. I was home, it was January. I was like, I'm going back to Durban. I don't have accommodation. I'll see how I will go about it. I do have like savings, but these savings can only last me for 3 months. Beyond 3 months, I'm not going to make it. So I don't know. But there was also this thing of resident assistant, the RAs, I think it's across universities in South Africa. So I was like, I'm going to apply to be an RA, and then so that I can get free accommodation while I continue doing my masters, and then I will apply for other jobs like tutorship and everything, so that I can be able to do what to actually eat, have transport and all of that. Guys, like, I came to Durban with that kind of faith, and when I came here, I stayed with a friend at Mlazi just a little bit. Maybe I think I stayed for that 2 months or 3 months. I stayed there. Now my friend is also not working, so I was the one who's paying the accommodation of my friend. It was the one who was buying food for us to eat. I was the one who's paying for transport whenever we have to go to campus, and both of us registered for masters. So my friend has no funding. I also don't have funding. And I don't need to stay that long in somebody else's space. My friend also needs her space. But guys, I have this faith that it was like, that I cannot explain. That I'm going to be an RA. And I did put it through my applications, guys. And remember that this is just faith, guys. You may be taken, you may not be taken. Imagine. But I was like, no ways I'll be taken. There's no ways that they can't take me. Oh, they called me for interviews, guys. I went, I did the interviews, and then I came back. I still had, and by God's grace, I think around April, they called me. They told me, congratulations, you've been successful, this and that. Come on Monday so that we can allocate you the residences. I was like, God is so great. Finally, the burden for the accommodation is off, so now it's gonna just be food. And also for transport, it was off because I was gonna use the bus to go to campus. So I started moving up my things after the orientation to the residence in which I was gonna stay, and actually look after the students. You know, you just supervise, you monitor the students within that residence. You're actually helping the warden, who's the one who's actually, you know, employed to actually look after those students, do the admin and everything. So I was like, I'm so happy I got it. Oh my god. Yeah, problem solved. Now the savings ran out. That's where the problem started. The savings ran out, guys. I didn't have food now. I didn't have anyone to give me money for food. That's where I had to start thinking about business. I was like, what kind of business can I start? What kind of business can I do? Which is going to make me money so that I can be able to afford my. Remember also, guys, that I've paid my registration fee. The following semester I need to register again, and without having any registration fee I won't be able to register. And remember, now there's the debt that is piled up. So for the second semester, the registration won't be the same as the first one. There's going to be like there's concession fees and all of that. Oh my god. So I need money for that as well. That's where I had to really think about an idea. But the problem was I needed capital for me to start this business. But I need to start business. I was writing down businesses. I was like, I need. So I have been thinking now about these ideas, but they needed these business ideas, but they needed capital. So to a point whereby I reached a thinking that how can I start a business that is going to not require me to have a capital? How do I start a business without capital? That's where I had to look at my skills. What skills do I have which I can use and then people can pay me for that? Okay, I thought about the fact that, well, I've done research from my advanced diploma. I have a research skill. Why don't I use these research skills? I'm also able to explain things to others. You know, when I was in school, I was able to teach the others, you know, to tutor the others. So why don't I use this? I was like, no, you know what? I started taking my laptop, I created posters, I did CVs for people, motivational letters. So that's the first business I started was the academic mentorship and also making CVs and motivation letters for people, and also for applying for jobs for people. So people would pay me to apply for jobs for them. See English? Yes. So that was, and people used to pay me, guys, because you know there are people who want jobs, but they are in remote areas where the network is bad, is poor, and all of that. Others, you know, job seeking is also exhausting, guys. You know, I wanted to lessen their burden and all of that. And I know these are the people who are not working. So where are they getting the money to actually pay me? They have to ask from people, guys, to get the money to pay me to apply for their jobs. Because some of the people, if they're not working, but they're able to buy alcohol, where's that money coming from? So I was like, hi, you guys, you are going to be my target market. I'm going to apply jobs for you. And guys, there are people who manage to get jobs, you know. There are those who manage to get interviews, others were not taken, and but it was like something doable. It was successful. I was doing CVs for people, motivation letters, and the academic mentorship. So the academic mentorship was that I was helping the students to navigate, you know, their research journey, their mini dissertations, their thesis. You get me, guys. I was helping because, you know, I was just good in research. I used to like research. I'm still developing, still in research. I'm not perfect, you know, but I was like, I have the skill, so why don't I sell the skill I have? So that's why I was saying that capital sometimes isn't just money. It can be a skill, guys. People supported me, guys. I used to, when they have assignments, the students, they would come to me. I would explain to them, oh, this is what the assignment need. They would go and write the assignment, come back to me, and then show me and tell them, no. This is not how you reference. This is not how you writing. There's no flow in this assignment. This and this and that. I would help them, guys. You know, they would pay. And guys, it was like successful. When I tell you it was successful, I was able to eat. I was able to even pay the registration fee for the second semester. That's how successful the business was. But eventually I got like a job at the writing center. So I stopped, I stopped the business because I was now at the writing center. I used to have some of the clients even from the same institution where I was employed. So I was like, no, right now there's a conflict of interest, if I can say so. Let me just stop the business. But I managed, guys. So that is the business that you can also do, guys. If you are sitting at home, you're doing nothing, where there is Wi-Fi, you can actually start this business. Or even if there is no Wi-Fi, you can actually advertise yourself. Somebody is going to pay for you to help them, to guide them on their assignments, to help sometimes to edit their assignments, to proofread and all of those things. When the person gives you them or pays, you take the portion of the money, you buy data, you do the work. So you didn't do what? You did not have to have money first, but you basically employed the strategy in which the person is going to give you the money, and then you're going to use that money to do what? You're going to use that money to actually buy that data and do this somebody's work, or help the person on that work. Okay, guys, now the duration of being an RA ended. That's okay. At that time when it ended, I was already employed at the writing center, so I did not have a problem. I worked there. Guys. It was fun. While I was working at the writing center, I got another job that was good. I went and worked on that job, and I'm still there. So I'm working now. Yes, I'm working now. I don't have any problem with money, but I was like, I need an extra cash. And the extra cash I needed, I didn't really need it in a way, because I feel like the money I had was like more than sufficient. So at that time, because this thing is within me. So guys, I was like, I want to start a business, but still I don't want to like invest any money on that business. I want to start a business I can start for free. So I was like, now I started analyzing in my environment. I'm staying at like a taking a Durban Central. I just analyzing the advantages of staying there and all of that, and what potential businesses I would start. I was like, let me buy clothes and resell them, because I knew shops that were selling like clothes like at a cheaper money. So it's like, let me start a business for clothes and sell mostly for people from the Eastern Cape, because well, they are far from many shops that are selling many of the stylish current clothes or fashion, and the clothes are very expensive that side, which it makes sense because people order from afar, transportation fees and everything. So it has to be that expensive, and people don't have much competition as much as things are changing now. So obviously we don't have a choice. If somebody is saying that a jean is 350, we have to buy it at 350. So I was like, you know what, let me start a business of selling and reselling clothes. I started being a runner. And how I started it, guys, was that I joined the WhatsApp groups of the shops, so that when they have clothes, they share on the WhatsApp. I advertise them. So I started, I joined those groups, and I started advertising. People like bought the clothes. Somebody would send the money. I would take somebody's money to buy their item and take my profit. So no money that comes from me. I take your money to go and buy what you want and take my profit. You get me? So that's another way in which, guys, I started their second business. So I'm still doing that one, guys. I still want to scale it up. I still want to scale it up, guys. I'm still having some of the challenges there and there, but I want to scale it up, like to really, really, really make good money, because it really does have a potential, but it needs you to push, it needs you to put an effort and all of that. But I'm still doing the same thing. There's no money from my pocket that I'm taking out, just advertise stuff, and then people, they do what they buy. I use their money to go and stock and take my profit. So those two businesses, guys, were just possible. Do you have any idea for starting any business? Just think, is there any way in which you can start that same business? Think thoroughly. Is there any way in which you can start that business without money? Think about it, guys. Is there any idea that you have, but the problem you've been having is the capital? Think of ways in which you can make it possible for you to start that business without the capital, right? And if you can't now start it because it really requires you like to have a capital, you can start with a business that doesn't require you to have a capital, and then save money from that business for you to start the other business. So guys, when you want to be a business person, you just need to think outside the box. You just need to be someone who makes solutions, who comes with solutions. You need to be a problem solver. And problem solving does not start there when you're solving people's problems. It's also start within your business. And right, you will have problems within your business. It's a problem not to have a capital to start. So that requires you to think of a solution. So start thinking, guys. And I want to tell you that it is actually possible to start a business without money in South Africa. You can even start these two businesses that I'm telling you about, guys. Even the one for being a runner. There are many runners in eThekwini, and you'll always have customers, guys. You'll always have customers. You can just go even on TikTok, advertise your things there. Eventually you will have. On the next video, maybe I'll talk about some of the challenges I've experienced within the business and some of the lessons that I actually learned. Thank you so much, guys, for your time on this video. If you actually want to be a runner, then you reach out to me, guys. You reach out to me. I can connect you. You can actually be also a runner. You can also start the business the way I started it, guys. Let's plug each other. Let's share the information. You are not going to take my customers. How do you know my customers? We don't share the customers, guys. About this thing of being jealous and all of that, you know, there are people I've put into this business, guys. They've never taken my customers. Haibo, imagine somebody that's in KZN. How is that person going to take someone who's my customer from Eastern Cape? Even in my hometown now, there are those who got inspired by me and who are doing their own, reselling of clothes, or reselling of clothes. And I don't have a problem with that, guys. At the end of the day, people, you don't force them with their money. They buy, you know, where they need to buy. And I'll also tell you, how do you deal with competitors? So when you are having such a situation now, where you are mainly doing the same thing, how do you ensure that you level up or you set yourself apart? Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Make sure that you comment in the comment section. Was this video inspirational? Is there anything that you learned? Is there anything that you would like to share in relation to this? Are you inspired to start your own business? Are you inspired to think out of the box? Remember the words I said. Starting a business may not only is not only about money, which is a capital, but it's also about your skill. It's also about your network. You can collaborate with people. It's also about your mindset. Thank you. Bye.